for the button pushing. It's a button and I pushed it. What's up, everybody? Oops. I got this thing down here open. There we go. What's up, everybody? It's Monday, the 4th of October, 2021. What's up? How you doing, everybody? What's going on? It's been a week. It's been a week since I've been here. Mainly because this little human right here got sick. I know some people out there are like, hey, I don't care if your daughter got sick. But the reality is the show must not go on. If I'm the only person that is home and available to take care of my daughter, the show must not go on. Plus, typically on Fridays, we have Alyssa Bentley, who's in the chat right here. If you see the scrolling chat going by, her name is right there. And did not want to give her whatever the daughter of mine had. So even if it was somehow we could work out the show, I didn't want to give a communicable cold-like symptom situation to anybody else. You know, stop the spread of non-COVID even, right? Because we're adults around here. And I know it's not COVID because we got her tested. So it's not COVID, just a regular old kid being sick and getting some germs and just being overall miserable, sick child. Which she's on the mend at this point. Home all weekend with my daughter, taking care of Olivia. I also did some other stuff that you guys will appreciate in the future at some point, but not today. Not today, sir. Not today, as they say. You guys won't appreciate it because it's not like there's a video coming out today or anything. Which is why I say that. Jimmy P says, I raised 2 daughters. They always came first. That's right. Yeah, that's how it goes, man. If you got kids, it's more important. And as they say around here, say, I feel like I let the members down because we went from 81 members to 77 members. and the patrons went from 163 to 159. I think that's right. Hold on, let me pull that up. I think I had the number in my head that it's 159, and I don't think that's right. Scratch that. No, it's correct. Okay, 159. We went down in members. We went down in patronizers. Hey, what are you going to do? I don't know, man. My kid was sick. And I'm not doing a show. So, sorry. Yeah, that's the big news around here. The big news, the fish tank stuff is continuing to get moved around. What is going on with this? This seems like this was weird. Okay, there we go. Whatever. But yeah, fish room news, things are ongoing. I'm continually working on stuff in that and filming it, and at some point in time someday there'll be a video about what's going on out there, and I think y'all will appreciate it. But maybe you won't. I don't know. There's just a lot of projects going on right now, and yeah, everything's just in the middle. Everything's in the middle of projects. If you are a member or if you are a patron and you're over on the Discord, I sort of I gave you guys I kind of posted in the project area there about some of the stuff we're working on, but yeah, we'll as time goes along, things will shake out and you all will get a video about what it is that we're doing. And then you could follow along and build your own thing if you want. Or not. You don't have to build anything. You can do whatever you want. You're just a person watching YouTube. So feel free to do whatever. Yeah. If you want to be a member and you want to... if you want to sponsor the channel, that's basically the way that it goes. If you want to sponsor the channel, there's 2 ways to do it. You could become a member on YouTube, or you could be a contributor on Patreon. Whatever, do whatever you want. I hate self-promotion. I hate doing it, and I feel like it's a part of my job, so I have to do it. I try, but yeah, there we go. I don't know. I'm over it at this point. To be brutally honest with you guys, I'm over self-promotion. I don't like it. I don't like it. Don't buy anything. Don't buy anything. I'm trying to get down to one member. We're going to get down to one member and one patron, and then I'm just going to have them do the show. I think we're sticking to that plan. I think the diamonding plan is a good plan, and we're just going to go with that. Yeah. First to the chat today, Alyssa, Frank Dominguez, Mikey Fishy, Paula Kreinberg, Zelf Ernide, Recab Harris, myself. Hey, that's me in the chat. Aubrey, Lumpy Dog, Jimmy P, Matt Allen. I've never seen Matt Allen before. Captain Savage. What's up, Captain? The Captain Savage Aquatics. New Local Austin. Eric Wyrock. What's up? Jimmy P and Joel G and some other people I probably missed because I don't know how to read good and do stuff good and all that stuff. And yeah, so whatever. Big news. Today's news is that Facebook, Instagram, and WeChat are all broken. I don't know what's going on, and I don't claim to know what's going on. I just find that it's wildly entertaining. I think it's hilarious that it's broken. It's funny to see that, and it's funny to see all these people's like shrieking reactions. And if this is a prediction with zero evidence, I have zero evidence. Here's my prediction. My prediction is that Zuckerberg is re-rolling his characters. I think that's what he's doing. If you guys are familiar with any kind of role-playing RPG type game, you know how you start out and you'd be like a barbarian or a wizard or a whatever. You know, you're like oh, I'm a bard. Oh, turns out being a bard sucks, and at like level 30 or whatever, you re-roll your character. I think that's what Zuckerberg is doing. I think he's just going to take down Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff and just clear all the server space, and then just make an even more intrusive media company, you know? I think he's gonna take. I'm saying this with no evidence, by the way. Just relax. Calm down. I'm just basically making a joke at the expense of what's going on out there right now. But I think he's gonna re-roll Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff. Like he's just gonna erase all those servers, so he doesn't have to pay for all that server space anymore of like archiving all this old crap. And then he's just gonna restart Facebook, and he's gonna call it like Spacebook or something. Or maybe he'll call it my Spacebook. Who knows what he's going to call it. And it's just going to be more intrusive. Like he's going to take his lessons learned, and it's going to be gathering even more data about us. I mean, I read a report early in the year where they were talking about how each person on Facebook is worth like $59 annually to the company. Just how much like advertising and click-through stuff that people click on. And I realized that those guys are way better at making money than I am. And I was like, oh, wow, that puts me to shame. So, you know, it is what it is. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sponsored by the Bezos guy. The Bees. I have an Amazon store, so if I post an Amazon affiliate link, I get a commission, which I'm not very good at. You know, I'm not good at it. Somebody was asking about drones last week. So here's a link to a drone. If you want to buy a drone and fly it around, it's $1,000. I think I'll make like $6 if you buy it through my link. You know, if you're in the market, just click that, and then you go and buy a $1,000 drone, and then you can film your backyard from up in the air, and you'll be like, wow, there's my backyard. What screen did I have open back here that was like more chill on my eyes? There we go. We'll turn that on. We'll have this open and then my chat closed. Oh, there we go. Okay, there's my chat over here. We got a $10 super chat. Oh my god. And by the way, somebody was like, hey man, you pander to people's super chats? Yeah, I pander to people that sponsor the channel. That's how this works. If you're like a customer of a store or something, and then like the store owner is like, oh hey, there's Steve. What's up? What's up, Steve guy? You come in here and you buy stuff. How you doing, man? And people will be like, what are you doing? Pandering to your customers? Ridiculous. Why would you do that? That's how this works. So we got a super chat from the Fish Tank Barn. It's a $10 super chat. So $10 means we'll probably talk about it for 3 to 13 hours. Probably how this works around here. Understanding the sick kid thing. My daughter has a fever. Thankfully, not the virus. Doing better now. Much easier at 14 years old. I hope Olivia feels better. Yeah, it's just a struggle dealing with a 2-year-old that is sick. I mean, she's almost 3, like she's like 2 years and 11 months or something. So she's like almost a 3-year-old now, but it is like weird dealing with a child that's of that age that is sick, right? It's like she's coughing. She's got the boogers. She's got a bunch of stuff going on. And then it's like, oh, mild fever. Oh, there's a mild fever. Oh, but she's just coughing like crazy. You know what I mean? So the other night, just on a personal story here, just a little quick 35-minute personal story. So I was getting up in the middle of the night to go over and find out what was going wrong. And because she was coughing and like woke herself up and then, that kind of thing. Go in there and she's just going like, I'm hurting. I hurt. Daddy, I hurt. And it was just like, well, what's wrong? Does your stomach hurt? Do your feet hurt? And I bet realistically in my mind, I'm like, she's probably achy or something, maybe but she's probably just achy all over. And her explanation is that like she hurts, right? But man, I tell you, it's like, if you could be dealing with a 35-year-old that's like, oh, I'm sick, and they act like a 2-year-old. But when you have an actual 2-year-old acting like a sick 2-year-old, it is it's a bit of a struggle. I gotta admit, but it kind of is what it is. It is what it is, and she's getting better. We weren't sure what was going on with her last night, so we took her into the her pediatrician today to just get her looked at in person, see what's up, because they were like, you know what, you might need to have an X-ray done to see what's going on. But today they went in, listened to her, checked her out, and they're like, no, she's on the mend. Nothing weird going on. No X-rays needed. None of that stuff, which is good. And she's definitely perked up today and doing a lot better, so we'll see. We got a $2 super chat all the way from New Zealand, which I don't even know. How far is New Zealand from me here? Let's see. Seattle to New Zealand. How many miles is it? Distance. 7,200 miles. 7,200 miles away. That just goes to show you, man, you can super chat from long distance. You know what I'm saying? You can super chat from long distance. You could be even a member from long distance. Hey. As far as I could tell, from up to at least 7,200 miles away, you could be a member. He says, pander to me, baby. That's right. Joel G. So what would I pander to Joel G about on a day like today? What would I pander about? I mean, I would just be like, everyone thinks you're handsome. Everybody likes your attitude. You're a phenomenal, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Accountant, but your talents are being wasted on accounting. You should be, I don't know. You should be a model on the cover of men's magazines, as an example of what every man should be or aspire to be like, right? There we go. Was that pandery enough? Oh, Eric Wyrock, a little more dander. Okay. I think both you and Gillett should be on the cover of what, GQ probably. I think that's a men's magazine. I think as far as my knowledge goes, like you guys could do a the frisbee golf. I mean, you guys could be like the poster boys for a frisbee golf, or Dad Bod Monthly, I think. Which I think I could be on Dad Bod Monthly. I could be on that. I don't know. I don't know how else to pander to you guys, but I definitely do my best to pander to the mems, the mems. That's the backup plan. Male model. That's right. That is a backup plan. Oh, I figured it was gonna be. Oh, where's my asterisk? I don't know where the asterisk is right now. What's wrong with me? There we go. Male model. There we go. Anyhow, almost there. Almost 3. Holy cow, time has gone by quickly. Yeah. Yeah. Time flies, man. As they say, time flies when you're busy. You know what I mean? Time flies when you're busy. When you're busy doing stuff. And your time is occupied. Things go by, The time just goes a flying by when you're occupied, and it's been weirdly busy. Yeah. Fish Tank Barn says I could be the poster boy for some barbecue joint. That's true. Which reminds me, I think Fish Tank Barn and I got to go get barbecue. I think if I was to fly out and hang out with the Fish Tank Barn, we should just drive around and go to barbecue places and review barbecue places. Like, we could make a whole bunch of YouTube videos about awesome barbecue places around the Fish Tank Barn's house. I feel like that would be a fun YouTube video trip to do. Just like cruise around, eat good food, and just generally enjoy the culinary stylings of the upper Midwest. Back east. The upper Midwest. Back east, right? Mickham saw the second part of the co-op's videos. Looked pretty muddy, if you ask me. Yeah, the Amazon is mud and leaves and sticks, and it's just a mud bog. It's probably the only place that I have ever been where there's like quicksand, where it's like there's actual quicksand there. You stand on it, and you just sink right into the quicksand. It's nasty. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, moving around the Amazon is not the easiest thing. You need a boat. You got to go on the water. Going on the shore is just not a good idea. Hiking around the woods out there is not a great idea. It's not really something that you want to do. A lot of the areas that we went to, aren't necessarily frequented by humans, but there are humans around that are sort of interacting with nature. There is a part in one of the videos that I shot that I'll probably put into mine because it doesn't seem to have made it into the Aquarium Co-ops ones. So basically what I'm going to do, as far as my videos go, I have a bunch of video that was shot in Peru. I gave it all to the Aquarium Co-op, and Jimmy is using it, and he's using everything that he wants to use for the Aquarium Co-op videos, and then I will take the cutting room floor video, basically, which is a lot. So don't act like I'm getting the short end of the stick there, because I'm really not. 3,000 or 4,000 people will probably watch my Peru video, which I would think theirs are way above that already, right? Let's take a look. How did these Peru videos do so far? Aquarium Coop. Let's go take a look. Oh, Peru. There we go. Aquarium Co-op Peru. Can we just go to the channel? Let's see here. I don't even know. He has so many Peru videos now. Yeah, so the one that came out yesterday has 35,000 views already. Yeah, that one has 67,000 views. I mean, I'm sure they'll just sit there and get more and more views and stuff. That stuff's going to get out there to a lot more people than my channel will. So, like, whatever's deemed good for those videos, like, get them out there, let people see the good stuff, and I can create my own sort of Peru videos just from the stuff that's left over. I mean, I think a total amount of video that I shot was something like 30 hours of video, or I don't even know. It's a lot. I'd have to like accumulate it to figure out exactly, but it's a ton. It's a ton of footage. I'll have plenty of footage to make about how weird it is. Lunar Beta says, by land is how you get eaten by a jaguar. So the jaguars are there for sure in that area that we were in, but they have a tendency to like not really be around people. From my understanding, it's really rare to see a jaguar. Apparently, maybe Dean and Randy saw one last time that they were there, but the guys that hosted the boat, the guys that own the boat that took us around, I've been going down there for decades and have never seen a jaguar. So I guess it's like super rare to even see one. So interfacing with a jaguar is going to be pretty rare. You would most likely be a caiman or something like that. Or you just most likely just have a really bad time out there and probably catch a virus or something. You know, diarrhea is like the number 3 killer in the world, I think. Humans by list annually, right? Heart disease is number 1. Oh God, this must have changed. The top 10 causes of death. Here we go. Heart disease is number 1. Stroke is apparently gone way up. Oh my God, diarrhea has dropped to number 8. You guys, diarrhea is on the decline. That's amazing. But heart disease is on the up. Stroke is on the up. Chronic obstructive, COPD, not good. That's on the rise. Lower respiratory is on the rise big time. Neonatal conditions. Okay. Bronchitis, lung cancer, Alzheimer's, dementia, diabetes. Okay, so my numbers were out of date. The new numbers now. Diarrhea's number 8. Although it seems to range up to number 4 sometimes. I think that's what this scale is right here. So sometimes it would range equal with number 4 on the list. And maybe number 3 sometimes. But currently the range is down. But yeah, I think normally leading causes by income... leading causes of death by income group, diarrhea is way up there. Neonatal's way up there. Okay, this is a bummer. This is just... all this stuff is all just a bummer, dude. You don't necessarily want to be doing a live stream about bummer stuff like that, so we're just going to move on. I mean, you don't want to get eaten by a jaguar either, but it's super rare. That's all I'm saying. You would be far more likely to get diarrhea or pertussis or, I don't know, diphtheria or whatever. It'd just be an issue. Including new design knee-high sock for the delivery person. The United States Postal Service needs a rebuild. United States, we've talked about this before. The United States Postal Service needs removal of some seriously hamstringing legislation to see it continue to move forward without being hamstrung by an aggressively bad faith Senate, who decided that was a wicked good idea. Led by, I think, USPS legislation that I think it was 2006 pension legislation. I think it was by like Ted Cruz. I think it was Ted Cruz under George W. I think that's when it happened. DeFazio, right? Here it is. Oh, was it DeFazio out of Oregon? I think. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look into this. I don't remember it off the top of my head, and I'm just legit just sitting here reading. But if a lot of the pension law and all that stuff gets removed, there's no reason to have that, unless it was just for a bad faith reason, which is the whole reason that went into play. The USPS would dominate even more than it already does, and it should, because it's a public service. It's not a business. I'd like to see more public services like that. I mean, even with it having to deal with a pretty crazy like unfair. I mean, unfair is not really the right word to put on it. Without all these crazy restrictions that are put on it, it does a service way better than anybody else for a way cheaper price. Like, what, a quarter of the price or something? Coconut is in the head is more common, I guess. Yeah, falling objects are very much more common than predatory mammals, right? It's not very often you get killed by a predatory mammal. Things fall from height all the time, though. Crazy, I can't even send trolling postcards. You could send some trolling postcards. I don't know why, Joel, I don't know why the United States Postal Service is a big deal in New Zealand. I don't know why. You guys are a separate country. Get your own postal service? I don't know. Fish Tropic says, wear down, everybody go crazy. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I have like a fur ball in my throat today. I'm wondering if I'm coming down with Olivia's cold. I might be. Beware. I very well might be coming down with Olivia's cold. If that's the case, that'll suck. I wouldn't like that. Then again, I did not get a lot of sleep last night. Was constantly being woken up about every 20 minutes, and it could be that too. Could just be tired. Which is kind of a weird thing. It's kind of a weird thing where you get into this cycle of like being a parent and like not getting a lot of rest and stuff because you are a parent, and then your kids are sick all the time because they're children, and then your immune system is worn down because you're tired all the time. Did you end up catching whatever it is that the kids have because they're kids? Yeah, I don't know. Fish Tropic says, I'm always sick. I have a kid. Do you have a kid? Do you have children? Do you have small children that have to go to daycare in your house? If you do, you'll know why I get sick. That's why. I'm not gonna up my vitamin count. All right. I've talked on my live stream many times. Do not do what I have done in my life, other than the fact that I've been sober now for... Hold on. Check it. Whoops, that's actually going to load and start playing. Hold on. This is a good song. How do I turn my sound back on? Turn sound on. Can you guys even hear that? Yeah, I think you can. All right. That's a good song. It actually started playing because I was trying to... I've been sober for 2,701 days. Yeah, you should definitely do that. Be sober. I've been through a lot of wacky nonsense in my life. And, yeah. Do I have repercussions from living that way? Yes. Yes, I do. have repercussions from living a crazy, insane lifestyle for a long, multiple decades. Okay, and do I recommend it? No, I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that for anybody. It's a bad idea. You should get sober and live a awesome, radical life. That's what you should do. But are there repercussions for living that? Yeah, dude. So, and I have a kid, and I'm 40. For 41. So, yeah. And Olivia goes to daycare like 5 days a week. And kids are gross, especially 2-year-olds. What do you think? What do you think they're doing at the daycare other than giving each other their germs? You know what I mean? It's just going to be gross. That's all. That's how it is. Does the AARP magazine need a before model? I'm their guy. Yeah, why not? Yeah, so let's see. What was one of the things I wanted to talk about today? I guess a lot of people have, for whatever reason, been asking me about water changes recently. I don't, to this day, I still don't know why this is a wild, why this is like the most common question I get all of the time. It's like, if I have a reef tank, how much should I be doing water changes? If I have a planted aquarium, how often should I be doing water changes? Basically, what you should do is set up a system that works for you, right? First and foremost, what you can handle is how you're going to have to set up the system. If you want to do a water change every single day of the week, you could. I don't know why you'd want to do that personally, unless you have an automated system that you could do a small water change daily. That would be cool. If that's something that you are comfortable setting up, you would never ask the question, how often should I do a water change? Right? If you go plumb all the timers, and if you go plumb all the tanks to do automatic water changes, you probably would never ask that question. So, what I recommend as a blanket recommendation to people is do a water change once every 2 weeks, but be testing your water in between to find out what is happening to your water in between that time period. If you don't have any information, why are you doing water changes? It's like, oh, well, I should just do a water change, right? Well, if there's no reason to do a water change, you probably shouldn't be doing a water change. And there's really a kind of basic implementation here that most people would have to do but don't want to do. And that's test your water, write it down, and keep track of what's going on. Most people would go, well, that's too much work. Okay, then I guess maybe don't have a pet. I don't know. Recently, the other day, I got some flack because there was somebody's wacky dog was on my porch, and I couldn't get this dog to leave my porch. I couldn't go out the front door because my dog was barking at that dog, which was making that dog growl and bark and try to come in the house, and the dog wouldn't leave my porch. I went out there. I tried to go out. That was my interaction. Well, shut the door. All right, I don't want to break up a dog fight. That's a pain. And I'll probably get bit or something. Wait 10 minutes. Dog's still on my porch. All right, can't go out again. Even though I got this dog out here, this dog's smelling my dog from inside and wanting to get in or whatever. Now, I don't speak dog, so I don't really know what this dog's motivation is. I've never met this dog before. Whatever. So I go around the house. I go out front. I coax the dog off the porch. Get out of here. Go back to wherever you're from. Figure it out. Dog runs off. Runs down the street, across the street, jumps up on one of the neighbors, blah, 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 immediately runs across the street and goes up and stands on my porch again. Dog does not have a collar on, so I can't like wrangle the dog and put a leash on it and try and figure out like whose dog it is or not. Or look at the dog's collar and call the person and say, hey, your dog's at my house, come get your dog. No collar on this dog, whatnot. Okay. It's like a boxer mixed with something else. I know this dog now because this is the crazy dog from down the street. That if that dog sees a person, it jumps and barks and goes crazy at the fence, right? And it's like a boxer mixed with like a Rottweiler or something, maybe a pit bull or something. I don't know. It's a boxer mixed. It's a bigger dog, jump up dog, and so I try to get the dog off the porch. Again, the mailman comes, gives the dog a treat. Dog's fine with the mailman. Okay, then the dog follows the mailman as he leaves because the mailman gave it a dog treat. I'm like, oh, okay. They'll get the dog will go down the street. Hopefully, they'll figure out like where it's going or whatever. Maybe it'll follow the mailman and or something and figure out like, oh crap, that's my house that way, and it'll go over there or something and figure it out. But like I said, dog doesn't have a collar on it or anything like that, so nothing I can do. 2 minutes later, the dog runs from down the street back onto the porch again. So at this point, I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm calling animal control. So I call down and get animal control to come down. They come down. Neighbor gets super pissed at me, right? And I'm like, but the neighbor's not super pissed at me. The neighbor's super pissed at animal control. And then, conversely, gets super mad at Vicky and starts yelling at Vicky about how I'm not a good neighbor and this and that. Now, first off, I don't even know whose dog this is or what the hell's going on with this dog. It doesn't even have a collar on it. And, I was having a conversation with some people about it, and they were like, oh, well, man, you know what? You should have done whatever you could to, like, take care of the dog and da-da-da-da-da and this and that. And I was like, how... If these people don't even have, like, a fence that could keep the dog in or a collar on the dog, what am I supposed to do here? Like, am I supposed to just invest my day in, like, sorting out somebody else's dog? Like, animal control showed up. They got flak jackets on. They got gear. They got flashlights. They got a van. They got dog collars with them. They got all sorts of stuff, right? They have all the gear, and it's their job. They're literally being paid to deal with somebody else's dog. Now, they're mad at my neighbor, right? Because this has apparently happened before. Now, my response was, maybe this person can't afford to have this dog, and maybe they should adopt that dog out, right, to somebody else. And I got this immediate reaction that, like, oh, what, poor people shouldn't have pets? And it's like, I'm not saying that poor people can't have pets, but if you can't take care of your pet, or if you can't afford to take care of your pet, take the due diligence to figure out like what your own budget is and whether or not you could probably take care of this animal, which falls right in line with the exact same statement that I would make of like, maybe you can't afford to have an aquarium if you can't afford to take care of it. I don't know. I'm not the one making the judgment on your budget. I'm just making a blanket statement as to maybe you can't afford it. Maybe you can't afford the time. So it's like, it's one of those things. If you can set up a system for your aquarium that works for you, right? That will most likely work out for the benefit of your aquarium if you could figure out a schedule, affordability for doing a water change. If you're like, hey, I could definitely do a 30-gallon water change every 2 weeks. I can make that happen. That'll work out. And in the meantime, I'll test the water in between then so I could figure out the chemistry of my aquarium. And I can jot it down. And I can track things and find out what's going on with my aquarium, and maybe you'll only have to change water once a month because you're like, I never really have an accumulation of visible detritus. I never really have an accumulation of anything like ammonia or nitrite or a crazy abundance of nitrates or anything like that going on. So you're like, maybe I do my water change once a month instead of once every 2 weeks. And that's a savings factor for you, but you're still going to have to do the work. Which brings me to my second point of maintenance is the biggest factor in any tank's success. There's a lot of people out there, and one of the things that Corey put out a while ago was spending 60 minutes a day or something like that in your fish room, spending 60 minutes with your aquarium, just working on something for an hour, which might be too much of a time commitment for some people. It might only be 30 minutes a day or something like that. But I do, one of my tank projects I'm working on right now is literally ignoring one side of an aquarium and maintaining the other side of an aquarium, and literally just to create an actual visual of like, here's what happens when you do nothing for 6 months or however long the timetable is. I have the dates written down so I would know. Oh, yeah, which, by the way, weird, right? Write down the dates so you know when the project is going on, right? And so to literally visualize for you guys, here's what happens when you do nothing to a tank, where you just like, I'm not going to touch anything in there. I'll just leave it the way that it is. In the exact same water, in the exact same system, the exact same setup, the exact same maintenance schedule on the filter and the water change and all that stuff, just to give you an idea of what it is that I'm talking about, where it literally is putting your hands in the tank, doing something in there, working on things, doing maintenance in especially something that is aquascaped, right? Something that is literally aquascaped is going to have to be maintained by the human interaction in the aquarium, and it's going to be the most beneficial thing that you could do. Somebody's Fish Tropics dog just got eaten by a crocodile. That is crazy. What if the dog bites a kid or a grown man? Yeah, I mean, the reality of the story I was telling about the dog was just like, maybe these people can't. It's not even a monetary thing. Like, maybe they just can't afford to have a dog because the dog's not being taken care of as a conscientious like neighbor with other people, and somehow that's my bad for, I don't know, calling one of the services in my city where I live that you in one of the cities that you live in, right? It's like that's what you're supposed to do. Random dog is being a weirdo on my porch and I can't get it to leave and go wherever the hell it's going to go. Like, you're supposed to call animal control. Like, they're not evil, vicious people or whatever. They just literally, their main functions is returning animals that accidentally got out or whatever, right? But apparently this is a person that's regularly offending on that level of like, hey, maybe you can't take care of a dog because it just keeps escaping and it's too big for what you could handle. Maybe get a little dog. I don't know. Steve Bearteach says, damn app will not let me post without a super chat. Hi all, keep calm. Oh man, is that like a new feature on YouTube where they're just like, you just can't chat in the regular chat unless you super chat? There is a members only button I could click on here, which I was considering doing that a while ago, of just turning it to like, yeah, it's just members only, but the only thing that stopped me from doing that basically came down to all of the patron people. There's no way to like add the patron people to the list. So y'all are lucky that we have patrons, because then you don't even have to be anything, and you can still post in the chat. And it still comes up on here. You know? Yeah. Mickup's wondering if they found the dog collar. This dog never has a collar on. I went and verified. I don't know why. This dog apparently escapes. It should have a dog collar on. It doesn't make any sense to me why you wouldn't. Maybe I'll be a good neighbor by bringing a dog collar over and be like, "Hey, put this on your dog. You know, what's your deal?" But that would be the opposite of being a good neighbor, because I'd be, I don't know, starting trouble or something. I don't know. Saltwater croc crossing a river out to sea. Dunzo. Yeah, saltwater crocs are ridiculous, and I really would not want to, I probably wouldn't enjoy dealing with them on a regular basis. I don't know how you guys do it. Makes no sense to me. You know, people are like, "Oh, there's just a crocodile outside right now." And I'd be like, "Well, not good. You just have to have a gun on you all the time, I guess." Dog with a collar is just, or a dog with no collar is just like, that's how you lose your dog. Yeah, pretty much. Most dogs these days are microchipped. They have like a microchip in them, but I'll tell you guys the same thing I told to the animal control. I was like, I don't have a microchip scanner for the dogs, but the animal control people do, because they literally were like, "Oh, boop. Oh, this is the dog from over there." The dog's registered with the city or whatever, because they knew where to take the dog. Yeah. So, I mean, they knew where to take the dog. They knew what was going on, and they wanted me to, file a report. And I was like, dude, I don't know if I'm going to file a report. That seems like a lot of extra work on my behalf. But, you know. Lumpy Dog says, I spent days creating a very elaborate Excel spreadsheet to track aquarium details. Turned out to be too clunky and didn't keep it up. Now I use a large dry erase board to track key details and dates. Yeah, I currently use a big whiteboard myself. One of the things I may or may not be working on might have something to do with tracking stuff like that in an easy way. Yeah. But yeah, I personally use a big whiteboard in my fish room to write down things, tests and stuff like that, so I can keep track of them. And then just, I'll take a picture of it with my phone and then erase it, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to do something with that information later. And I probably won't, but it's good to just have an image of it. So, because the phone will save the date in the image file that's backed up, And plus, it normally when I take a picture of the whiteboard, it goes like, hey, it thinks it's a document, so it turns it into a scanned document, and then I just save it into the scanned documents file. So most of them in there are just aquarium measurements and things. So just as a reminder, you could become a member or a patron. My little alarm over here went off, and I'm supposed to tell people you could become a member or a patron. And yeah, I don't have a lot of energy towards trying to get people to sponsor the channel, so we're just going to move on. The third topic I had here, I don't think I want to talk about that today. I had another thing I was going to bring up, but I don't think I'm going to save that for next week. I think I'm going to save that topic for next week. So let's read some chat here. Funny, because most people drive around taking dogs. I've heard of dogs getting abducted, but I've never personally seen it or ever had that happen to me. Well, actually, scratch that. I actually have had that happen to me. Somebody did take my dog once, and they wanted to keep my dog. And they called me 2 weeks after having had my dog and was like, hey, look, we've had your dog this whole time. Can we just keep your dog? And I was like, no, what the? I've been searching for my dog forever. And then they were like, can we just keep him? And I was like, no, you're ridiculous. So I guess maybe I've interfaced with that in a way, but I got my dog back, so I don't know. Random gardening question: how likely is it that potatoes have grown under the weed cloth in my bed? I may be trying to find out in a bit. The likelihood of that is probably pretty low, I would say, because, most of the potatoes are like within the top 6-8 inches of soil. Like, they're not that deep normally. Although, like, when we do them, when we do them in containers, how deep is the soil that we do in those containers? I think those things are like 24 inches tall and probably like half full. And I don't think there's very much potato at the bottom of that. So I think it rings true to that. There might be like a little potato or something down below, but unless you actually have the plants growing up above, they don't ever grow big. So, because they got to photosynthesize, man. And we have fairly good results with potatoes around here if we happen to get the type of potato in the ground at the right time. Sometimes we've done like Yukon Golds, Baby Reds or whatever, and we've planted them sort of like where some people are like, oh, that's foolish. You should have put them in a month later or a month earlier or whatever. And we're like, okay, thanks, negative Nancy, and we send those Karens down the road. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to tell people to hit the like button. That's another thing. We have another thing. That's another thing that is like, God, it's so important, guys. It's so important. It's so important that we hit the like button, apparently. I don't know. Does it matter? Probably not. Let's be honest. Probably not. No, I don't think it matters really unless you get over like 10,000 likes. And my channel will never get over 10,000 likes. That'll never happen. But yeah, as far as the potatoes, like them being under the weed cloth, I would really doubt it. I really doubt that. We got a $1 super chat from Steve. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe he's trying to reach out to us. He mentioned that his app won't let him chat unless he's super chatting. I don't know why that is. That is weird. But maybe it's a slight malfunction. Zelfernide says, why did the chicken cross the road to cause traffic like a no-look pedestrian with an I don't care attitude? Stupid chicken. Yeah. Chickens are idiots, and they don't seem to care about anything. We're back up to 11 now, I think. 11 chickens again. We got 5 new ones, and they are idiots. They are idiots. They're pullet size now, so they're not little chicks anymore. Now they're pullets, and not quite big enough to go in with our other birds yet. So they're like in an enclosure inside of our chicken coop and pen area, and yeah. It's like the why did the chicken cross the road question is like chickens are idiots. They're not really motivated by anything. I think if they were out in the street, they'd probably just get run over. So I don't know. Definitely not inspiring people to chat today. That's for sure. Except for Fish Tropic. Fish Tropic's been chatting like crazy. Poor dog. Fish Tropic says, wait, you're telling me Corey spends 1 hour a day in a fish tank. Well, in his fish room. I think that was the video, right? I think that was the video. Aquarium, cope, 60 minutes. It was something like, yeah. Can you complete the 1 hour challenge? It was like spend an hour a day in your fish room and just see the improvements that all the improvements that would happen, which is would be a lot. You know, you'd be a lot of improvements. Yeah. So I think that's his goal. His goal is to do 60 minutes a day in the fish room and just do stuff that needs doing, whatever it is. Which is, I think, a reasonable. I think it's it's a reasonable amount of time, especially if you were doing just 60 minutes a day, 7 days a week, or maybe even 6 days a week, or something like that. You'd be getting a lot of stuff done, and I don't think it would be cutting in to the things you need to be getting done. Like I don't think it would ruin the rest of your everything else going on. It's not a huge time commitment, realistically. Oh my God, we got another $1 super chat from Steve. I'm not sure. I think he's trying to speak to us in Morse code from $1 super chats. Steve is making it rain. Steve's making it rain, y'all. $1 at a time. There's little dancey emojis. Is that the Saturday Night Fever dancey emoji? All right. Well, yeah. I guess that's it for today. I don't really have too much else to talk about currently. So, yeah.